This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we'll be removing the motor from a Miele dishwasher. And the reason you may want to remove the motor is you have the intake drain light coming on because of a faulty motor and you have to replace it. So we're going to remove the triple filter, and then we want to just get this remaining water in the sump out. I usually just use a turkey baster and a cup. And once we get that all out, we're going to make sure we unplug the unit or we turn off the breaker. Don't want any power. We're going to lay the machine down on its side, pull it out of the cabinet, lay it on its side, and we're going to remove this one Torx 15 screw that holds the motor in. It's actually only being held in by one screw. So we just spin that out, and then we'll be taking off the bottom plate so we have access to the motor hose connections and electrical connections. So we have to remove a couple of screws down by the rear feet. This part we're removing is called the drip tray, and if there's a leak in any of the components, the water can drip down onto that tray, and usually it activates a little styrofoam float, and that makes the machine go into drain mode. So we have to remove a couple of screws here on the front, near the front feet, on the left side and right side, that hold on the drip tray. And then we can pull the drip tray away and we have access to these wires. We're going to remove some of these ground wires. One there. Just pull them back. Sometimes it helps to wiggle them as you pull them back, or you can use a pair of pliers. Got to remove that hose clamp and these terminal connections, spade connections that are on the heater. There's just two of those. Again, wiggling is effective, but pliers are okay. So these are a couple of the other hoses we have to disconnect. This is the heater pressure switch that has 4 electrical modular connections. It'd be good to take a picture of this before you remove them. And these are easily removed. Just squeeze in on a tab and then lift up. So you have 2 in the front and 2 in the back. So a fair amount of connections holding the motor in. Only one screw, but a bunch of electrical connections, a bunch of hose connections. Here's a picture of those modular connectors. So we're going to use our pliers to squeeze in on that hose clamp, get that one off. This black hose we just looked at too often leaks. So take a good look at that hose, make sure it's okay. These 2 bottom hoses basically never leak, but they're a little harder to get off. The coupling's a little bit stiffer. So we move it down with our hose clamp, and then we got that black hose off, and we're going to pull down on this one. I usually use a pair of pliers to grab on and wiggle these off because they're on pretty tight. We see a lot of deposits here, but you could use a bottle brush to get rid of all that before you reassemble it. And this is the motor connector power supply. We just pull straight back on that one. Watch out for the capacitor there because that has a lot of energy. Then we get off that back hose. That one also had some deposits in it. We got to clean that up before we reassemble. Now I take a back end of my pliers and leverage back to get the motor out about 45 degrees. The back part out first, and I got to get that little white spacer out. So I pull that out, and now I can grab the motor and just pull it out at 45 degrees out of the sump housing. And we got it free. I think I forgot to remove one ground connector right there. We got it. And that's your Miele motor. And then you can replace it or fix it. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe when you get a chance. Thanks a lot.